Hey, what's going on, New Orleans? Happy Monday to everyone. Hope you and your family had a wonderful Thanksgiving weekend. Hope everybody's happy and healthy. This is a short video to all the residents of New Orleans, especially the Black ones, of some information that I have just come across. Now, some of you may know this already, but I feel it's important to share this with all the residents of New Orleans. And of course, New Orleans is 60% African American. Amen. And we love our city. We cherish our city. We appreciate our culture. Um, I'm just going to go ahead and show this video, ladies and gentlemen of New Orleans, and I'll be right back with my commentary.
Okay, so I put together a list of companies that donated big, bigly to Donald Trump, as well as to super PACs that were behind Project 2025, and as well as the worst Republicans out there: Matt Gaetz, Lauren Boebert, Marjorie Taylor Greene. A list of these donors, and they're not companies that donated some to Republicans and some to Democrats. No, they overwhelmingly funded moving Donald Trump and Project 2025 into the White House. So I want everybody to keep that in mind. And before any MAGA get into my comments section, I want you guys all to remember it was one person who researched all the large companies that had DEI programs or anything that resembled anything woke, like donating $500 to a local pride organization. That one person identified all these companies, and then the right-wing podcasters and content creators pushed it all, and they were successful in getting all these DEI programs wiped out. Or the one white, wealthy Christian nationalist woman who single-handedly, through Ziklag, researched and identified 35,000 Democratic voters and challenged all of their voting records to get them purged from voter rolls. One person. So stay out of my comments section about what we're going to do to stand up for our values. Okay, now, this is going to be an overwhelming list. You're going to feel overwhelmed. I promise you, I'm going to give you the list of all the companies and products that supported Democrats or supported both parties equally or didn't donate politically at all. And that's a huge list. But right now, we're going to go through this list. Ready? AutoZone, Ace Hardware, Allegiant Air, Arby's, Armor All cleaning products, for the car, Ashley Furniture, Bali, bras and underwear for women, Bausch and Lomb, Big Heart Pet Brands, Bike Athletics, that's men's underwear, Any Beer by Molson, Any Beer by Coors, Brooks Running Shoes, bummer, Buffalo Bills, I'm including the sports teams here, for donating bigly to Project 2025 and Trump, because most sports teams didn't donate at all, but I'm mentioning the ones that voted for Trump and Project 2025. Buffalo Wild Wings, Buick Cadillac, Carl's Jr., Champ Clothing, anything by Hanes really, Chevrolet, Cincinnati Financial, Cinnabon, Conair Hair Products, which are all your hair products at like Myers and your pharmacy, Cuisinart Kitchen Products, Dairy Queen, Dirt Devil, Discount Tire, Dole Foods, that's a lot of frozen fruits and canned fruits, Dudley Sports, Exxon, Farberware, that's the kitchen and dining room products, Florists.com, Folgers, Fruit of the Loom, Fruitbouquets.com, Fry's Electronics, Geico Insurance, George Foreman Grill, GMC, Hanes, all the Hanes subsidiaries, Hardee's, Helzberg Diamonds, Hendrick Motorsports, Hobby Lobby. This one hurts. Home Goods, because they're owned by TJ Maxx, Hoover Vacuum Cleaners, Horizon Bank, Keller Williams Realty. If you're going to buy or sell home, keep that in mind. Legs, which are the socks and nylons and stuff like that. Las Vegas Sands, so stay out of their hotels if you're going to Vegas. LL Bean, Maidenform, that's bras and underwear for women. This one hurts. Marshalls, they're owned by TJ Maxx. Martin's Famous Pastry Shops. McDonald's, Any Beer by Miller's, Any Beer by Milwaukee's Best, Mobile, Molson's, of course, My Pillow, Napa Auto Parts, the New Orleans Saints, the New York Yankees.
Well, as you all heard, this wonderful lady read off a whole list of companies that supported Donald Trump, endorsed Donald Trump, and probably most likely voted for Donald Trump about 3 weeks ago. Now, everybody has their right to vote for whoever they want to vote for. Amen. That's the beauty of America. The problem I have as a former candidate, mayor candidate of New Orleans, is the lack of understanding the assignment of a lot of Americans. In Louisiana, we probably heard of the whole David Duke saga. Amen. David Duke was able to persuade a lot of poor white working class people to vote for him a long time ago. And of course, the state, when Duke ran for governor, the state had to decide whether they're going to vote for a racist or a crook. And the state voted for Edwards, the crook. Now we see a national version of David Duke. President Trump used the same race baiting to lure more voters, white poll voters, to vote for him in the 2024 presidential election. Now, back to the New Orleans Saints. The question is, why would the Saints endorse Trump? Well, you might say, well, they always support a Republican. It's a Republican state, right? No problem with that. I ain't got no issues. But you've seen a man that's been convicted 34 times. You see a man that's been impeached twice. And you know, according to James Carville, who's an LSU Tiger, like myself, go Tigers, mentioned that he's an adjudicated rapist, right? Just look at all the people Trump are putting around him in his cabinet. Look at Matt Gaetz. These are the type of people Trump are putting around him. And a huge portion of white America is not understanding the assignment. Do you know who Donald Trump is? And I'm speaking to Louisiana, and I'm speaking to the Queen of Louisiana. You know who I'm talking about, right? The former beautiful wife of Tom Benson Boogie. We all miss Tom Benson very much. But the fact that white people, well, some white people don't understand the assignment in 2024 is very shocking. Now, I'm not here to ruffle any feathers, okay? Not here to ruffle any feathers. The American eagle has 20 feathers, and 18 feathers are already gone. But I already said too much, and I digress. But I am here to speak directly to the city of New Orleans and the residents, especially the black men. How do you feel about your favorite team, local team, endorsing a man that would probably put you back in slavery if he had a chance? And remember, Nikki Haley was working with Trump, and she was saying, "Oh, the Civil War wasn't about slavery; it was about states having the right to make their laws or whatever." of course, having the right to make their laws about slavery. So this is the man that the New Orleans Saints have endorsed. I still love my football team, ride or die. We've had some great memories with the black and gold, but this should be a line in the sand for New Orleans. Just think about who Donald Trump is. Let me go ahead and show you this real quick. I think I was the only one that noticed this, but let me go ahead and show this real quick. So, New Orleans, does that hand gesture look very familiar? What Trump just did? It looks very familiar, right? And I don't know if y'all have done your research or maybe you already know. Trump's grandfather was German. He immigrated to America and then, of course, had Trump's dad and then Trump. They German. So you never know. This might be the Fourth Reich. So those of you who voted for Trump, congratulations. You got your king. New Orleans Saints, the administration of the New Orleans Saints. Um, this is a very disappointing um, discovery that I've seen for an organization to not consider the base of its business, all the black people that work in the Superdome, all the black people that attend the Saints game in the Superdome, Black Moses in the Superdome praying every Sunday for a victory, and you're gonna vote for a man who disrespects women, who's a racist, and who's compromised by Russia. Okay? This is where we're at in America. But oh, we ain't got no black woman telling us what TF to do. Is that what it is, America? Now, Trump did a good job getting votes from poor white citizens. He race baited, and that's why he won. Now, before I continue on the Saints, I just want to commend all the black women of America. You all passed the test. 91% of black women voted for Kamala Harris. In college, that's an A. That's passing. So, my black sisters, my queens, good job. 77% of black men voted for Kamala Harris. That's a C plus. You can still pass with that. Every other demographic in America, you failed. You failed. White women, white men. And it hurts my heart to say this. Spanish men, a big fan of Spanish culture, and I speak very fluent Spanish. I'm highly disappointed in the Spanish community voting for Trump, but I understand why. Because in Spanish culture, there's a lot of misogynists and a lot of chauvinists. And Donald Trump has those two qualities. So I'm not surprised by the Latinos, okay? But I want white America to know this. And I know half of white America are good people. So I'm speaking to the other half that if you want to go marching in, then you got to put on the new personality. You heard me? So I just want white America to know this, that you failed this assignment in American history, and you're going to see some devastating changes in this country. You may not feel it overnight, you may not feel it in a year, but about 7 to 10 years from now, you won't recognize America. You will not recognize the United States. And all these white people kissing Trump's butt, Joe Scarborough, um, and Mika, his wife, and then you got Jack Smith, who dismissed these cases against Donald Trump. He's saying that, oh, well, he's a president elect now. We can't go that way. Well, the statute of limitations are going to expire. So I guess it's white folks staying on code, right? So back to New Orleans. Now, I know the Saints are going anywhere this season, right? We lost to the Rams yesterday. Go figure. But I believe that some action should be taken against the New Orleans Saints, everyone. I mean, just imagine if there were no black people in the Superdome to watch those games. Imagine if there was no black people to work in the Superdome to support the games. I mean, something's got to be done. I mean, I know black people may not have the right mental mindset to boycott the New Orleans Saints. Now, I wish I had enough brothers in New Orleans to support a boycott, but I don't think it's going to happen because I don't think the black men in New Orleans, have the guts to do so. But it would be good for actions to have consequences. Ladies and gentlemen of New Orleans, as a former candidate, mayor candidate of New Orleans, I'm very disappointed in this decision to support an adjudicated rapist. He raped white women. Are you kidding me? And the owner of the New Orleans Saints happens to be a white woman. I mean, I remember that news report of when the Saints owner was almost robbed of her car, and the owner of the Saints, she screamed to the top of her lungs. She was like, "New Orleans, you remember that when the Saints owner, it was on the news, somebody almost, carjacked her." Well, of course, naturally you would scream, right? But what if a person like Trump did that to any woman? Let's say a white woman. Would you accept that? Or would you tolerate that? This is where we are in America. And I'm going to say this: Nate Jones may never be mayor of New Orleans, even though I am the sexiest man to ever run for mayor of New Orleans. You heard me? And I can prove it. There's another guy coming after me. He's probably going to be the next mayor of New Orleans. Very nice looking man. So, up to this point, you know, I feel it's an honor to have run for mayor of New Orleans, but I'm very, very disappointed in the Saints supporting an adjudicated rapist. I mean, white folks, what is it going to take for you to see that who you voted for was the wrong choice. It's not the economy. The economy's getting back to normal. So this is a decision that you white folks are gonna have to live with. And I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna speak on behalf of all black people in America. I'm gonna say this on behalf of all blacks in America. Whatever happens the next 4 years, as we say in New Orleans, I swear to God, you better not blame black folks. I swear to God, you better not blame black folks on this. Black people passed, aced this election. White folks, you failed. And I want to say this to all white folks 20 years of age and younger, because I deal with students in the school system. I want you to know that the future depends on you, young white folks. You have the chance to be like your parents, or you can be better than your parents. The choice is up to you. If you want America to survive another 50 years, you're going to have to show some love to black people. I'm telling you this. Don't just say, oh, we sorry for slavery, this, that, and the other. We're not working with words. So, young white people, future voters, 20 years old and younger, can you be better than the owner of the Saints? Can you be better than the owner of the New Orleans Saints? She's a beautiful woman, but I think her and the organization made a very, very big mistake. Do they understand who they voted for? So, young people, young white people, the future's up to you. You know, there's a shift in the world. So, how is America going to survive? It's up to you. Now, I'm not preaching to black folks on voting because black folks passed the test. You heard me? I said, you heard me? Black folks passed. White folks failed. And I'm surprised a lot of you white women, you know who this man is. You women can feel this. Women have an emotional intelligence. They can feel stuff. Like people stand next to you, you can just feel what kind of person they are. Just imagine standing next to an adjudicated rapist. How would you feel? Now I'm going to conclude this video because I've wasted a lot of your time already, and I appreciate you listening. But I think it would be a great idea if black people in New Orleans boycotted the home team. You have nothing to lose. We already got a Super Bowl. That is a wonderful thing. But now it's 2024, and here comes Project 2025. Are you black folks in New Orleans, my people? Are you just going to let this pass by? I mean, what about Mr. Rouse? You know, a lot of y'all know he was in DC on January 6, 2021. He stood there and watched those people go in the Capitol and took a piss on the walls of the Capitol. Mr. Rouse. And people still working for Mr. Rouse. People still shopping at Rouse's. So, do blacks have the resolve to boycott? Like today's blacks, are we as strong as the blacks in 1964? I know New Orleans got some strong black men. The question is, do you have the resolve to boycott the home team? We already have a Super Bowl. Just imagine not having any black people in a Superdome. A big part of the Saints base is black people. And with all due respect to all districts in New Orleans, there's a reason why the Saints colors are black and gold. There's a really, really good reason why. Because some of the most special blacks in America come straight out of New Orleans. When people come to Louisiana, they just feel different. You know, it's French culture. And speaking of French culture, you know, France was one of the first countries to abolish slavery, and that's what makes Louisiana special and New Orleans special. So, black men, I'm not talking to black women because black men got to take the lead. And I wonder if my brothers have the resolve and the guts to boycott the New Orleans Saints. We're not talking about boycotting the whole season, but a boycott in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Because the same people in the home team that endorse Trump, those are the same people that if Trump tried to bring back slavery, they're going to be silent. But anyway, slavery ain't coming back to America. It's not coming back. I don't think the young black people don't want to see that. It's not coming back. So even if Trump did that, their silence will be complacence. So black people in New Orleans, are you smart enough to make a boycott? It's up to you. The Saints ain't going nowhere. Super Bowl, baby. The big boys in New Orleans not gonna let the Saints go to the Super Bowl. We gotta bring in money from two different other cities. That's how it works in New Orleans. If you understand New Orleans economics. So the Saints ain't going nowhere. Just imagine if there was no black people in the Superdome for a few games, 1, 2, maybe 3 games. We ain't talking about the whole season, right? Next season we can start off fresh, make the playoffs. But this season, black folks, do you have the resolve to not go to any more Saints games this year? To not watch any Saints games this year? Because the same home team that endorsed Donald Trump is the same home team that will put you in a bad predicament when they roll out Project 2025. So it's up to you. Can you do it? Will you do it?
The Trump presidency 2 years later.
Excuse me. I got the flu. I can't seem to get over this because I can't afford health insurance. Not doing too good. I can't afford my medicine. And even if I could afford health insurance, I got a pre-existing condition and he won't help me. So it's been a good 2 years under Trump, you know. Things gonna get better. My son got drafted in the fucking Ukraine war. He's fighting with Russia over there against the European alliance and whatnot. So, you know, it's different, but hey, we ain't got a black female president. So that's the whole deal right there. They got rid of some of the Mexicans and the Haitians and all that. And that's why I voted for Trump, was to get rid of them, because they scary and I was scared of them, and to keep a white man on top. Let's be honest. A white man needs to know his place, and that's on top. Now, I lost my salary. I went from 20 to 13 an hour, and that hurt, it hurt a great deal. And I had to sell my truck and my house, and now I'm living with my mama. I'm coming, mama. But, even though that may be bad, the good news is Elon and Trump, they've made hundreds of billions of dollars more. I mean, they just, fuck, man. They doing it. They making a lot of goddamn money. I ain't really allowed to say nothing bad about Trump anymore, because I get arrested, and then the press, too. The media can't say nothing bad about him either. It's illegal now, but it's okay. They call that the fascist. But I don't. It's just Trump doing his thing, But, you know what? I may not have much of my life, and I may die soon because I can't get no doctor that I can afford. But I tell you what, I ain't got a black female president, and that's the whole idea. Trump, where you at? Won't you help me? I'm suffering, man. Please. I voted for you. Go! Maggot 2030 coming to you in the year 2030. It finally fucking happened, man. Putin took over our world. Putin, I mean, Trump sold, I don't know if you know about this. Trump sold Alaska to Putin, and then he sold about half of our nuclear weapons to Putin. And then, so we lost Alaska. And then people started trying to get out, so Mexico and Canada built big fucking walls to keep us from getting in their countries. And then, I don't know what happened, man. Putin came in and just took over, and so now, there ain't no more King Lord Trump. Now it's King Lord Putin. And I don't know what the hell all it is, but we under Russian command right now. Trump's working with him, though, and Elon and whatnot. Trump converted all the Teslas, or Trumpslas, they call them now, to gas. So the pollution's real bad and whatnot, but we hanging in there, besides that, man. I never saw that coming, though. Who would have guessed that Putin would have turned against us, and took over the nation? The good news is price of eggs is down and gas is down. Eggs is now, I think, $15 and gas is like $10 a gallon. So it went down quite a bit. So we're working on all that. Hanging in there. I got my Trump cheese, so I'm happy about that, man. Great Depression with Putin here is probably going to be over now, We're a white nation now. We ain't got to worry about them damn Mexicans and black folks, or having a black woman for president, But hell, man, 2030's all right. It's just, it's just different. You got to get used to it.